Nearly 1 billion kilometers away from Earth, far beyond the reach of the sun's warmth, there exists a colossal world that spins with a silent elegance. A world that has unsettled astronomers for centuries. A planet so strange, so precisely sculpted by the forces of the cosmos, that it often feels less like an accident of nature and more like the result of impossible engineering. This is Saturn, the gas giant so vast that Earth could fit inside it hundreds of times. And yet so light in density that it would literally float if you could place it atop an unimaginably massive ocean. Unlike the perfect round shape we learned about in school, Saturn is not a sphere. It is flattened at the poles, swollen at the equator, as if gravity itself were struggling to keep it restrained. In its upper atmosphere, merciless winds reach speeds of over 1,700 kilometers per hour, faster than any air current ever recorded in the entire solar system. And yet, none of that is what most terrifies scientists. Because the true enigma is concentrated in a single point on the planet, its North Pole. There, anchored high in the cloud tops, exists a phenomenon that defies all logic. A perfect hexagon with mathematically precise edges, rotating like a cosmic gear for decades. So precise, so deliberate, that to this day, some scientists hesitate to even call it natural. If Saturn already seemed otherworldly from afar, it was only when humanity approached its orbit that the illusion shattered, and the truth became far more unsettling. At its North Pole, something appeared that should not exist in nature. A colossal, perfect hexagon, with razor-sharp geometric edges stretching over 20,000 kilometers across. Large enough to swallow 2 Earths whole, and rotating with the precision of a cosmic machine. This is not a storm, not a cloud, not a glitch of the atmosphere. It is a mathematically defined structure, locked into place for decades, perhaps even centuries. When the Cassini spacecraft finally captured it in high resolution in 2004, the scientific teams did not celebrate. They went silent. The shape was too precise, too stable, too deliberate. And at its very center, a massive hurricane, larger than any storm ever recorded on Earth. Rotating with a clean, perfectly open eye at its core. Even more disturbing is what lies beneath. The chemical composition inside the hexagon is completely different from the rest of Saturn's atmosphere, as if the planet is isolating that region, shielding it, or hiding something within. And so the question became inevitable: is this truly a natural phenomenon, or a construct of something we are not yet ready to comprehend? Saturn is not just beautiful, it is scientifically disturbing. A colossal planet, larger than 760 Earths combined in volume, and yet so light that it would literally float in an ocean, if such a thing were possible. Its density is lower than water, something that simply should not happen with a planet of this size. And it gets stranger. Saturn rotates so fast on its own axis that it physically deforms itself. A day on Saturn lasts only about 10.5 hours, which causes the planet to flatten at the poles and bulge at the equator, as if it were being forcibly stretched apart. It is the most oval-shaped planet in the entire solar system. The winds in its atmosphere exceed 1,800 kilometers per hour, far faster than any hurricane ever recorded on Earth. And unlike ours, which live and die within days, Saturn's tempests can last for decades. Some may have never ended since the planet first existed. There is no surface on Saturn, nowhere to land. A human falling into it would simply sink forever, crushed by rising pressure and heat, until reaching a point where physics itself begins to behave in ways we do not yet understand. And amidst all of this, there is something even more unsettling. Saturn emits more energy than it receives from the Sun. In other words, it glows on its own, as if something inside it were still alive. However, nothing unsettles scientists more than the fact that Saturn appears to be literally disappearing before our eyes. Its colossal icy rings, for centuries portrayed as a symbol of cosmic beauty, are in fact dying, being drained into the planet itself, like a massive halo slowly being devoured by its own gravity. NASA has confirmed that the rings are raining onto Saturn at an absurd rate, the equivalent of an Olympic swimming pool of water being lost every 30 minutes. Invisible to our eyes, yet inevitable. And the most disturbing part is that this rain is not just pure water. It is a chemical cocktail containing organic compounds, electrically charged particles, and fragments that should not exist at this distance from the Sun. Every drop of that rain is literally a piece of Saturn's history, being erased forever. If nothing interrupts this process, scientists estimate that in less than 100 million years, the blink of an eye on a cosmic scale, Saturn will lose its rings entirely. Humanity, if it still exists, will see only a normal planet. No brilliance, no identity, as if it had never been an icon at all. And it is precisely at this moment that the greatest question emerges. Why are we alive now, during the brief moment in which Saturn has rings? A cosmic coincidence? Or were we placed here to witness them before they vanish forever? But not everything on Saturn is destruction. Something far more mysterious seems to be happening in absolute silence. During certain periods of the Saturnian year, the rings begin to exhibit phenomena that do not obey any known laws of physics. They develop dark, translucent formations called spokes or ghost rays, which appear and vanish as if they were projections of something invisible. They are not shadows, not dust, not ordinary storms. They seem to be created by electrically charged particles that float above the rings, as if suspended by some kind of force field. What's even more intriguing is that these phenomena only emerge during specific phases of Saturn's orbit, almost as if something were synchronized with the planet's tilt and the Sun's illumination, as if it were waiting for the exact moment to reveal itself. There are astrophysicists who believe we may be witnessing an atmospheric behavior so precise and mathematical that it resembles a programmed system far more than a random phenomenon. What if the rings are not just cosmic debris, but part of an active structure? Something that still has a purpose, one we simply don't understand yet. Now, with every new observation, it becomes increasingly difficult to ignore the possibility that Saturn may be more than just a planet. It may be a mechanism, a system still operating. Proof of this is that scientists have recently detected that its rings generate chemical rains that actively alter the planet's atmospheric composition in real time, as if they were feeding or regulating something within it. And these particles do not fall chaotically. They descend in precise patterns, like invisible currents, drawn by a natural or artificial intelligence. In certain bands of the atmosphere, researchers detected electromagnetic variations so specific that they appeared to be carrying information. There are scientists who believe Saturn may function as a giant cosmic antenna, receiving and retransmitting signals we are not yet able to decode. And this is where an even more unsettling fact emerges. Every ancient civilization capable of observing the heavens with precision saw Saturn not merely as a planet, but as an entity, a center, a messenger, a silent observer. And for the first time, modern science is beginning to suspect that perhaps they were not entirely wrong. And it is precisely because of these inexplicable behaviors that part of the scientific community has begun considering hypotheses that, until recently, would have been openly mocked. Ever since the controversy surrounding Oumuamua, the first interstellar object to pass through our solar system, the suspicion has grown that not everything we observe is necessarily natural. And Saturn, with all its mathematically precise behaviors, has now entered that list of cosmic unknowns. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb suggested that certain variations in the luminosity of Saturn's rings and its hexagon may resemble artificial reflections, as if some kind of surface were intentionally reacting to sunlight. Other scientists disagree, arguing it can all be explained by extreme atmospheric dynamics. But the fact is, silently, the idea that Saturn may be interacting, not merely existing, is no longer being dismissed. So much so that bold proposals have begun to emerge, such as using the Juno spacecraft to attempt to intercept and analyze electromagnetic phenomena coming directly from the planet. Even without official confirmation, the very existence of such a proposal reveals something undeniable. Scientists are no longer only asking, "What is Saturn?" They are now asking, "What is Saturn doing?" This may be the greatest turning point in the history of modern astronomy. After centuries of seeing Saturn as a distant, photogenic body, we are finally beginning to perceive it as something alive. Intelligent or not, it is changing right now, before our eyes. Its rings are disappearing. Its atmospheric patterns behave like signals. Its energy emissions defy logic. And for the first time, we are about to observe it not just from Earth, but from another planet. Simultaneous missions from ESA, NASA, and China plan to capture Saturn and its rings directly from Mars, as if we were triangulating an invisible enigma. More than simply seeing the planet, the goal is to detect coherence, pattern, rhythm, intention, because after decades of silence, one question has become inevitable. Is Saturn merely existing, or is it trying to communicate? And if it is, Have we realized it in time?